Man ran 874 miles entirely barefoot for the most baffling reason. Have you ever felt like your potential as a human being is stifled by sitting, cooped up in an office all day? Do you look out the window longingly, feeling like if you could just take a quick recess, you'd be more productive? Well, as it turns out, you're not alone. The natural living movement has grown in popularity over recent years and champions the return of organic, human habits, like spending most of your time outdoors and going to sleep early. One man has taken it even further. He doesn't believe in wearing shoes, and his rationale is more logical than you think. Tony Riddle is a natural living coach from Hampstead, London. Along with his wife Katerina and their 4 kids, he researches ways to bring healthy, easily implemented human habits back into the hustle and bustle of contemporary 9-to-5 life. His philosophy is that humans, like other animals, are most successful when they live how nature intended. According to Riddle, raising a family has driven him to identify the ancestral tools his children will need to succeed. We exist in a modern technological age, says Riddle. We can't turn back the clock or expect to be able to live as we did as hunter-gatherers, but we can relearn these deep connections to nature, ourselves, and each other. By relearning the basics of human survival instincts, Riddle has been able to thrive. In doing so, he says, we can find profound states of well-being, and what well-being he's found indeed. When Riddle was born, his feet were twisted towards his upper body from being curled up incorrectly in the womb. He had to wear plaster boots with a metal brace to twist his feet back down, which was incredibly painful. As he got older, Riddle began to question the need for boots. He thought that if he could just run naturally without shoes on and keep at it for long enough, his body would gradually realign on its own. So he set out to try it. At first, his feet were tender, but they calloused quickly, and he learned to adapt to different surfaces, like grass and tarmac. The harder the surface, the more gently Riddle would run. Gradually, Riddle began feeling better than he'd ever felt. He looked for ways to continue making improvements in his quality of life, and ways to steer his life focus away from consumerism and back toward the environment he lived in. Through trial and error, Riddle developed a series of habits that worked to make him healthier. He ate a vegetable-based diet, took cold water baths, and exercised in ways that maximized his range of movement. He learned how to meditate and control his breathing. Riddle's main focus never strayed far from running, though. At home, he got rid of all his chairs and sofas, opting to sit on the floor to fix his posture. Good sitting posture, he said, translated into good running posture. All the while, people had been seeking Riddle out as a natural living coach. By 2019, he had thousands of curious Instagram followers, and his consultation business was booming. However, he wasn't satisfied. He wanted to do more. So Riddle began planning his biggest personal challenge yet. He would run the entire length of the United Kingdom, almost 900 miles, and he would do it barefoot. He wanted to use the trek to raise awareness for environmental causes. He broke the journey down into a 30-day schedule, hoping to cover 30 miles each day. After every 10-mile segment, he would stop and talk with various environmentalists to learn about best practices for conservation. Riddle figured he'd be covered by news outlets during this run, and the talks he had with activists and conservationists would receive more press due to the existing run coverage. It was a good strategy, and everything seemed ready. Early on September 1st, Riddle went out from Land's End, the southernmost point in the UK. True to his word, he was barefoot. His family rode along in the car, planning to meet him in towns every 4 days. After the first 4-day stretch, his feet already looked pretty rough. But he seemed to be having a blast, posting Instagram stories of himself singing while trotting down the open road. His joy was not to last, however. Only a week into the trek, Tony cut his right foot badly, and his foot and ankle swelled up close to the size of a flour sack. He had to take 2 days off to rest, bandage the injury, and wait for the swelling to go down. As a result, Riddle got back on the road with 2 days' worth of running to catch up on. Still determined to accomplish his goal of running 874 miles in 30 days, he added a few extra miles every day, as much as his injury could withstand. Finally, on September 30th, 2019, Riddle ran 57 miles and finished his journey at John O'Groats, the most northern village in Scotland. As he pushed through the last agonizing half mile, his family was there to congratulate him and whisk him away to get some rest. What's next for Tony Riddle? Over the COVID-19 quarantine, he set up a lockdown relay where teams of 6 runners virtually pass the baton along to complete 100 miles in 24 hours. Not even a pandemic could keep this guy down. Some people are just cut from different cloths.